Welcome to Batteries Will Run the World. This is our fourth Energy Forum of 2018. I thank very much the kind support of Cardno and Dick Kell, who's either with us or joining us very shortly, and Oz Eng and Peter Seebacher, who have made the event possible. Thank you for your kind sponsorship and making the event possible. Before we start, I will acknowledge that we meet this morning on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. The University of Sydney, and indeed much of Sydney, is built on their land. We acknowledge their ancestors past and present and emerging futures leaders. At this point, I will welcome Willy Zwaenepoel. Willy is the new dean of the Faculty of Engineering. He's got a doctorate from Stanford University and put together some of those excellent commercialization skills from California to be an advisor for Nutanix, a company worth $5.5 billion US today, and two startups, iMimic and Bugbuster, worth 9 million Swiss francs. That's 12 million Australian dollars. He's a deep academic, but he's also a commercialization man. So welcome Willy up to say a few words of welcome this morning.
Okay, thank you very much, Ashley, and thank you all for coming in such large numbers. I'm very happy to see you here in such large numbers, and again, welcome to the university and to the Faculty of Engineering. I just want to say a few words, and I don't know much about batteries, so it will not be about batteries. I just want to tell you a little bit about what's going on in the Faculty of Engineering and what I've concentrated on so far and what I plan to do in the future. So what we're concentrating on right now is two things, essentially: recruiting new staff and upgrading and revamping our infrastructure. So we're in a very fortunate position in the faculty right now that we have a large number of open positions. And I really think it's critical that we take full advantage of that. And so I am heavily involved, and I'm directing the heads of school and the faculty as well to really put all their effort into it. Like Ashley said, I'm a Stanford graduate, and I was actually good friends with, I am still good friends with John Hennessy, the former president. I took some courses from him when he was a lecturer, when he was just beginning his academic career, and he always told me, you know, if you have the best academic staff and the best students, you're done. You know, all the rest will come to you, and that's sort of one of the leitmotifs that I want to imprint on the faculty. Now, this may be true, but you also have to have buildings to put them in, and decent buildings, and I think we're a little behind here at the university, and especially in the engineering precinct, and so that's my other big emphasis right now. So I don't know if you've walked across the precinct, but there's a big hole in the ground right now where one of the towers used to be. There will be a new building there sometime very soon. It will be a wet lab building for chemical engineering and for biomedical engineering, and so finally we'll be able to sort of have decent wet lab space. So that's actually another aside. So we're creating a new school of biomedical engineering. I think it's very important for engineering to be positioned towards healthcare, and biomedical engineering and the creation of a school is just the first step towards that. There is more to come. In addition to that, we're also going to build a smaller new building on Shepherd Street, in the parking lot that's along Shepherd Street right now. And together with the Ling building and a revamped version of JO4, if you know what that is, that will be the new home of electrical engineering that has been displaced by the destruction of the old building. And then finally, we just put in a proposal with university management to create a new building for AI and data science, IoT and robotics. So we would like to bring all of those people together, spanning different schools. I gather this is a new thing. Used to be one building, one school, and one school, one building. I think we should get out of that model, and so we'll bring in all the people from the different schools that are interested in those areas. So that's at the proposal stage right now, but it's past sort of the first gate, the concept with the university executive, and I'm hoping to see that happen. Now, given those are my two priorities for the initial period here, that does not mean that I'm not interested in university engagement. In fact, quite to the contrary, I'm incredibly interested. I think for an engineering school, I think this is part of the lifeblood of an engineering faculty to be involved with industry. Ashley mentioned I've been involved in the creation of a few companies. One particular success story, Nutanix, that I joined as an advisor when it had 3 people. It has 4,000 people now, 8 years later, and I think the current market value is now up to $7.5 billion, even with the stock market dropping like a rock in the United States right now. So that's been a huge success story, and if we could only recreate part of that here at the University of Sydney, to me that would be a great, great satisfaction. So with that, I'd like to close and turn it over to the actual proceedings of the day, which is about batteries.
Okay, thank you.
I also need to acknowledge some of the other organizers today. Jeff Lee is where? Jeff Lee is over here. Andrew Collins, Peter Seebacher, thank you very much. We are sort of the setup men for the energy forums this year. This is our 4th forum. Demand management was number 1, nuclear energy was number 2, hydrogen cars was number 3, and this is the last one of the year. The other role of the setup man is to draw a thread through the needle and connect this industry forum with the academic forum and symposium that are following in the afternoon. So here's the story. There's a fellow in Los Angeles. He's the 68th richest man in the world with a net present value or net worth of $8 billion. So when you've got $8 billion and you live in Los Angeles, you buy the Los Angeles Lakers basketball team. And then when Kobe Bryant retires after playing 20 years at Los Angeles Lakers, you go buy the next best player in the league. And LeBron James is now with the Los Angeles Lakers, a $154 million contract. When you own the Los Angeles Lakers, you need a newspaper to report the sports events. So Dr. Patrick Sook-Chiang bought the Los Angeles Times and the San Diego Tribune Union. And then the next biggest thing in Los Angeles is smog. And as you know, before the largest battery in the world was in South Australia, it was in Los Angeles to deal with air pollution in Los Angeles. So Dr. Sook-Chiang bought Nant Energy. Nant Energy is a zinc air battery company, and they claim to have broken the threshold of economics for lithium-ion batteries. So this morning we're talking about industry applications of batteries. This afternoon, Professor Yuan Chen, raise your hand, Yuan Chen, is meeting with the academics to talk about new battery materials. And Yuan says that the battery that's running the Christmas lights over here in the corner is a zinc air battery. So at this point, raise your hand if you're with government. Any government people in the room? Raise your hand if you're an academic from any institution. And raise your hand if you're from industry. Okay? The objective of these is to increase the communication and dialogue between government, industry, and academia so that we can build a better economy for Australia.